My name is Herbert Diego, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an agent with FEG and in the financial services industry for about 8 years now. And I'm glad to be with you tonight. I'll be uh, presenting tonight. I'll be speaking on this subject of the FEG opportunity along with my brother Dominique. Let me go ahead and pass Dominique for a few quick seconds to go ahead and introduce himself, and then I'll take it on again. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Chitatire Dominic. I'm in Phoenix. I'm as well a financial uh, professional. I'm glad to be with you guys tonight.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you again, Dominique. It's always a pleasure to have you. Just one reminder, Dominique, we're getting a blessing of Dominique tonight again for the second time. I think he was here speaking on this about 2, 3 months ago. So thanks again, Dominique, for uh, coming tonight to share. So, as you all saw on the flyer, we are going to be talking tonight about the FEG opportunity. We're discussing on the idea of being able to uh, work in this industry and get a payoff of the time you put in there. So, let's go ahead and get started here with this slide. The slide you see on the screen about changing your life. So we have two pictures there. Uh, the picture on the left is pretty much a barista in a coffee shop, and we see someone pretty comfortable on the beach. And those two pictures actually they say a very big message. If you can focus on those two to look at the kind of life you'd prefer from those two folks. I'm sure most of you would, choose to be on a beach, or at least myself, I would choose to be on a beach. But the traditional way of the career of working, of, employment, if we may say, doesn't give us much of a choice, but to force or push us on the left side picture, which is the young lady in a coffee shop. Now, what comes with that kind of career path, the employee path? We in this industry we had referred that to renting your life. If you're an employee, it's pretty much renting your life, and we're actually not judging anyone to be an employee, by the way. We're just defining how things are out there. So being an employee, you pretty much rent your life, which you wouldn't really want to, but you just have to do it. And then you're working on a very restricted income. As a matter of fact, we say a very restricted lifestyle because you want to work, you have to work. Maybe you don't even want to work as much, but you have to, and that affects your lifestyle. You can't do things you want to do necessarily, but just because we need that paycheck, so we have to go to work. And then you can't achieve your dreams. You have to pursue you're literally pursuing your boss's dreams, the owner of that company. And in the end, life becomes very frustrating. So those are some of the highlights we can pull from being an employee, regardless of all the challenges that you guys may know. But what's the alternative? There's a better way. And this path, the alternative path will be an entrepreneur. Let me call it that way. Entrepreneurship, owning a business. And this path actually provides a solution to each of the negative side or negative aspect that we get from the employment path. Instead of renting your life, from there you can see you can own your life. And instead of living on a restricted income, now you're not limited to a salary. You have a potential to earn as much as you're putting in. So it's like that slogan of, what goes in is what you get out. And then you can achieve your own dreams instead of pursuing your boss's dreams. And there's this idea of being in business for yourself. And if I may add, not by yourself, because we're a team tonight here, and you will see how you can make this your own business while pursuing this along with the people that you know or you will get to know, not by yourself eventually. So, how do we then combat the lifestyle that we're living today? Because the idea of being in employment comes with all challenges of life, money not being enough, rates changing, pay grades, not as fast as inflation coming on and the cost of living. So if you find yourself in a squeeze of money, what happens? We go for a second job. That's pretty much what most people do. They go look for a second job. And if you get a second job, then income is still restricted. Now, you lose even more control of your life by getting a second job or third job or fourth job. I know folks who are right now on a, third, fourth, fifth jobs at the same time. And then you get overworked, you're micromanaged. You can barely, actually, if anything, you can't even raise equity in your employment path because the equity is being really taken by the owner of the company or the most senior person on top. Talk about job security. Job security becomes an issue altogether because at any time things can go south and then you're laid off. You guys have heard of what's happening today with the federal employees for the US. I mean, for folks who are here in the US, I assume everyone is from the US here. Glad we just learned that there's a pause. There's a federal judge that just put a pause on that, but they had a deadline of midnight tonight to choose to resign. And that they never saw that coming. And we wouldn't want to go in that, put our lives, our loved ones, our families in that kind of risk. So the alternative, the solution, basically the choice we have here is what we're communicating tonight. That's the whole point we're discussing. How do we circumvent these kind of issues? And there comes the idea of building your own business. Now, with building your own business, that's the pure entrepreneurship part that we were talking about. Sorry, let me just go ahead and take this one out. Yeah, so that way I can see on the entire screen. So by building your own business, you get paid what you're worth. You're not on a restricted income. And we're matching those lines with those points. Each point is provided a solution from a different path of owning a business or entrepreneurship, if we can call it. And on the employment side, where we had limitations and no control, now you can control your future. You can work. I was telling you, I just came from Rwanda on a 45 days vacation. Not to boast around it, but I'm very grateful that I can get that flexibility and come back and take it on. I just got back here about 2-3 days ago. Not having that pressure of where you clocking in, all those kind of things. Then talk about being overworked. So you make your own schedule in this kind of path that we're presenting tonight. You make your own schedule. You do when you feel like doing it. And the more you put in, the more you get out. No micromanaging. You're not supposed to be in this specific given physical place in a sense that if you don't happen to be there, then your paycheck is affected. With entrepreneurship, you can work from anywhere. And with no equity in employment, we get a great work-life balance on the entrepreneurship side. Talk about being your own boss, unlike the job security. The peace of mind that comes with knowing that nobody's going to call shots on you tomorrow, the next day that your job is gone. And that gives us the career now, a financial services career, where we can be literally referred to as financial doctors. You talk of law, then we have lawyers. You talk of health, then we have medical doctors. But when it comes to finance, which is the most actually critical path, because even health and laws and they all hinge on finances. If the finances are in bad shape, then your health and all other kind of shocks comes along the way. So let's look at the numbers on the screen there. We see 1980 on the figures. In 1980, we had about almost 500,000 reps in this career of financial services. Reps, representatives, just like you are or you want to be. And the US had about 226, so to say 227 million people. Fast forward over 22 years down the road, actually 32 years, in 2022, where they last did these numbers on counting, we had less reps and more people. What do you think that tells us? When the number of reps got a little bit down from 498 to 424,000, and we have the population, the people, going up from 226 million to 300, right now 50, if we may say, 50,000, 350 million actually, not thousand, sorry. So that literally tells us that we have fewer reps and more people, which provides a more call for reps, more opportunity for reps, because they have more people to serve the market. So this is the good news to someone who wants to come into the industry. The population is increasing worldwide, and even more so in the US, in a way that it provides an opportunity for every financial services professional to have a shot to serve someone in the US or in the world. Now, fast forward here, who needs to know about how money works? Because financial services is all about, educating, providing solutions, all rotating around money, educating people about how money works. And quite honestly, if you look at it, right here in the US, you could be a judge, you could be a doctor, you could be a policeman, but if you have no good grip, basic understanding of how money works, then you're doomed to all sorts of life challenges ahead. We've seen people, tycoons, movie stars, going way high in net worth and then go all the way down back because of lack of this essential skill of money and how money works. You may have money, not knowing how it works, and then it would just evaporate. And you wouldn't want to be there. And no one actually want to be there. So that's where we come in to provide this basic skill to people, which they so badly need. Some may know they need it. Some others may, actually most of other people may not even know they need it. And it's up to us. The onus is on us to provide this kind of a skill, which we get to learn with FEG here. And this brings me now to the crusade. Freedom Equity Group has this crusade going on. We're in a crusade of life insurance that you don't have to die to use. It's a new kind of insurance that most people don't know about. Because the idea of life insurance most people have is that you're going to get money when you die, when someone dies. Imagine, first dying and getting paid, which is weird in its own, but then actually, yeah, you get paid. Even though the money goes to someone else, you get paid because you're dead. And that's a misconception that we get the opportunity to correct, which brings a win-win situation, both to us as agents, as professionals, and then to the people that we get to enlighten about the new way of using this life insurance. Talk about smart money alternatives of 401ks, the traditional path of retirement. And we have new engineered ways that provides more leverage, more benefits. We have things like guaranteed income index annuities. We have a guaranteed income where you only participate on the positive side, unlike the stock market, which gives you both sides, and in most of the time, it's actually the negative side. And in so doing, we happen to build our own businesses and become our own boss, just like we were talking about. So how do we do all this? It's all in one kind of solution that we find here with FEG, or Freedom Equity Group, so to say. So we protect people's income. That's the biggest idea here. The career, the path, the entrepreneurship, the creativity of protecting whatever income someone has. And not just protection, but also creatively augmenting it to new levels when we talk of cash growth, as Dominic is going to introduce us shortly here. So the solution is a new kind of life insurance with living benefits, with death benefits, with retirement benefits, with all kinds of benefits that one would want to hear about. And now with these three that we just talked about here, Dominic is going to take it on here to show us how this kind of solution has all these three. All these three that we just talked about. The long you live, then the more income you're generating. If you happen to get sick along the way, then you have no issues of where body's going to come from to take care of you with chronic diseases or critical terminal illnesses. And then the worst case scenario, in case of death, then we go back to our old understanding of life insurance. So at this point, let me go ahead and call Dominic to talk to us a few more minutes about this kind of solution, how it's structured, the composition of it, and then we'll circle back here. Thank you. Take it on, Dominic.
Thank you, my colleague Diego. As you said, let me talk about this kind of new insurance that someone may use even if you're still alive. You don't have to die to be able to benefit it. And I don't know how you can benefit it already when you die. Here it's the new insurance we are talking about is Index Universal Life Insurance. And as you know, in life, there are some phases of life you can't escape. One can be sometime sick. When you're sick, you need, of course, or let me start by maybe when you live longer. Let's say you live longer, you get a chance to live longer. When you live longer, you understand that you get weak, you no longer be able to work, you can't sustain yourself, you need some help. And you need also to protect your family, you need to assist your family. You need to pay your insurances, you need to pay your bills, you need to pay your medical bills. So in that case, there is a way you can put your money in this kind of insurance, the Index Universal Life Insurance, to generate more money. You put in, there is something you call indexing your saving. Mean that you try to protect your money about the inflation, whereby instead of losing your money, you will be accumulating more money through your saving. You compound your money. I don't know whether people knows what is compounding. Compounding means compounding your money. It is the time when you put some saving somewhere, and at a certain period, that money will accumulate and doubles. The saving doubles, and the interest compounds, there is a certain rule called the 72 rule, where your money will be doubled. It means that, let me give you an example. Let's say you put in 1,000. The 1,000 to be able to double when maybe you have an interest of 10%. By that rule of 72 rule, you have to take the 72, divide the interest rate you have, the 10%, the other 1,000 to double, it will take 72, divide by 10, you get 7.2. It will take 7 years and maybe 2 months to be able to double your money. That is the compound. And that money, you may get it tax-free when you want to take it out from the account, and with an interest of almost or more than 300%. That is the way you can put in money, you index it, you compound it, and again, you get it tax-free from that account with an interest of almost 300%. You see, that is a big profit. People should take advantage of this and put their money in index universal life insurance to be able to gain that kind of profit. This is the time where people live longer. They have more money to use because they put their money in this kind of insurance when they are still maybe young. Here, I can encourage people who have kids. They can put in the money and they are guardian for those young kids. By the time maybe they are 20 or 18, before maybe they turn 21 or 22, the family can be able to accumulate the money they have in that their accounts. Let's say they have something else to do. There is a way they can use that money, a certain amount of money from that account. And it's better to save the money that way instead of putting their money in the saving account, in the regular saving accounts, because banks don't really give such kind of interest. Let's say someone dies soon. If someone dies soon, of course, he leaves behind the family, and the family needs to be take care of them. Maybe they have mortgage to pay, or they have school fees to pay, or they have other family members who need help. So if we didn't be smart and have such kind of insurance, of course your family will suffer. But if you put the money in that kind of saving, kind of insurance, of course your family will be happy and you leave a legacy for your family, or your loved ones will be taken care of by the money you saved in that account, in that policy, I'm sorry. Or if someone gets sick, because we can't avoid being sick, sometime someone can be having critical illness. Let's say you have a heart attack, or maybe you have a major organ failure, or you have some nervous system tumor. That one also will be covered. Let's say also maybe you have terminal illness. Maybe you have 1 or 2 months to die. They are also, you are covered because you already have living benefits. And with the living benefit, it's the money you get with free insurance, free tax income. You don't have to pay the tax on that money you get from the account, because the index universal life insurance is one of the type of insurance that you don't have to pay tax when you take out your money. And you can also have a chance to get money from the account. Let's say you have critical illness, or you have terminal illness, or you have any other kind of sickness. You are protected because you already put money in the insurance, and that insurance have living benefits. You don't have to die to use the money. You have the right to use your money still when you are still alive. That is the type of insurance people should have in their families, not only adults, but from the young age, kids should have those kind of insurance. One will help the family to protect their family, their kids, and again, they have that kind of way of using the money in that account when there is need to use it, because they are guardians of those kids. I think that is the benefit of having index universal life insurance.
Thank you so much, Dominic. We appreciate you walking us through this idea of IUL. Most people hear about IUL out there, but then, of course, we understand tonight we didn't have that much time to dissect deeper into the all parts of IUL and go further down on each aspect. But we appreciate Dominic's contribution on those big levels of the big parts of the IUL. Now, speaking of this, we have a big opportunity here that we are sitting on. And just to bring back my slides here, the idea of having an IUL or presenting this kind of a solution that we just talked about to the public is unheard of, because most people have not heard about this one yet. Some people have heard about it, but really didn't get quite a chance to understand how it plays out exactly. So what Dominic has just talked to us about, he just explained these three big aspects of the product itself. And I'm sure we'll have sessions of the product in its own. But we wanted really Dominic to, again, as he just did, give us a highlight of those three biggest aspects that are embedded in this solution of the IUL. Now, you would think, who wants this? And that becomes actually our direct path for the career, for the business, for the entrepreneurship. Who wants this kind of service? Who
Everyone.
would you think? Everyone.
Yes.
Look at that. Who needs living benefits? The living benefits is actually part two. It's one of the three parts that Dominic has just talked about. So we have the living benefits, unlike the death benefits, which is the traditional understanding of life insurance. People think of life insurance as, getting paid when you die, which is death benefit. But you can actually get it. You can use life insurance when you're still alive, which makes it living benefit this time. And look at all these numbers that we have here on the generational levels. Talk of millennials, over 80 million people that are exposed to this kind of benefit that we need to reach out to. Gen Z.
And that is a big challenge for us to explain to people that there is a way you can put money in insurance and
Yes.
use it when you're still alive. they are
Exactly.
always thinking that their money will be used by someone else when they die.
So if you bring an idea of making money using life insurance, people will think you're crazy. And that's exactly what we are pitching here.
Mhm.
We can use life insurance to accumulate cash, to play on the safe side of the stock market, unlike going in with all the risks, to get guaranteed returns, unlike the stock market that will give you high, down, up, low, up, all over. Baby boomers right now are concerned. They are realizing the challenge of not planning their retirement ahead of time. The seniors, we still have solution for all these folks, and that provides us with an immense opportunity. Really quick here. So the potential to earn is what we're talking about when we talk of entrepreneurship and being in business for your own and not by your own. So we have the idea, an opportunity, a chance of earning extra income, even when you're part-time, even when you're not necessarily full-time in this. We all started as part-timers here. I remember back in 2000, I joined the FEG back in 2000, I think 17, 18. Part-time. I was in a bank at the time, and then somebody talks about FEG, and I was like, okay. Until it got better, I think somewhere around COVID, after COVID, it came full force. Joined the Immaculate here. And we rode ever since. I never looked back. So the chance of earning whatever amount in extra, if you're in part-time, 1,000 can change your car. It can change someone's life altogether. And that's those are minimum numbers that you can imagine of. So we have many ways to earn. We have about 10 ways to get paid here. And that's the power of this opportunity here. Some of the ways, maybe just not to exhaust them, some of you may be really new in the industry and not understand the language that we're using in the industry here. But trust me, we have a very strong team that will carry you through to understand all these steps. The first way is something called field training or reimbursements. So unlike the traditional job that we're used to, where we are employees and have to get paychecks or salary, whatever, where you have one way to earn, if that way was to be, tampered with, then your income is affected. Here we're providing not just two, not just three, up to 7, 10, even more ways of getting paid. If you can't get one, then you get the other. So field training reimbursements. I think we'll have a session on its own to deep dive each of these ways. We do have those numbers broken down, but field training is where you're supporting other people, new agents, as you refer those new agents, and they come in the funnel, gets trained, and then you get reimbursed your time to train them. We have personal production. These are your pure sales that you make with policies and the pitching you're doing to your direct contacts. And this is actually where most people that happen to learn a little bit about this industry kind of get frustration about it. They think, oh, maybe I don't know many people out there. No, I don't really want to go into my testimony here, but my biggest policy that I ever got in this industry, it was someone that I never knew about. We just run into, someone I had served way, way back, referred my name. And I didn't know about this person, just got a call, run into a person, won a policy, and ended up being my biggest policy ever. That actually paid me a commission worth of an annual payment. The industry can't be better than what we're talking about here. So we have field trainers. Once you become, experienced and know what you're doing now, you go to the field and then you train other folks, as we were mentioning. We have bonus pools. We have all these renewals. They keep getting better and better. Now, for the sake of the language here and time, as I mentioned, we're not going to dissect each of the way here, but these are different ways that we get a session to go deeper, and just so you can understand how you get paid and how much, depending on the amounts on there. but it's fun and it's way, way, way better than what we know out in the traditional line. Now, very lastly, let me challenge you here. My call to action. We all need freedom. And as we'll see down there, freedom is worth living for. So let's take back our freedoms. Let's not just, rent our lives and forget about what's ahead. If you're here for the first time, I would encourage you to set up an interview with whoever invited you here. And you may just think of yourself and, kind of ask yourself that question. They say, who do you or who do I, if I'm asking this myself, who do I know that wants to retire with dignity? That's thinking, anticipating 10, 12, 15, 25 years from now. And then you're starting your own team. You start building your own team. We get you started here. You become your own boss, you take control, and life becomes better. I know it could be easier said than done, but we've been there, we've done this. And if one can do it, then any other person can do it. So from the entrepreneurship point of view, here it's at its finest. And let me close with those three statements down there. Freedom is worth fighting for. And we've long heard of that. Freedom is worth dying for. We've seen that. People have died for the freedom of their own or even other people. But then again, freedom here with FEG is proven to be worth living for. So let me go ahead and open up this next 10 minutes for any questions that you may be having. I'll just keep the slides off the screen just so we can get to see who are we interacting with. Open up your mic, pose a question if you want, or you can do it in a chat box, whichever way you want. Let me look in the chat and see if we have anything there. Any question or comments? Because I know we have some senior folks here as well that have been in the industry for quite some time. Oh, okay. I see some couple questions. Couple of folks that are raising their hands there. Okay, go ahead, Ima.
Oh, thank you so much both for a great presentation. It can't really get better. So every time we hear about an opportunity, is something we really have to grab, with open hands. Because really, like all of us here, listening to what you have presented, it feels like maybe it's just me, but if anybody would love actually to reclaim their freedom. Who does want to lend their lives forever? Because when we go to work out there, we're just building someone else's legacy. But when you actually become an entrepreneur, you actually building your own legacy. So I feel like that is, would say that is common sense, but it could not be, because opportunity is not seen by everybody the same way. That is why professionals always come here. We come here to learn together. We're not saying that we are way better than anybody else out there, but maybe we saw that opportunity before someone else saw it, because we were in the same shoes like everybody else is at this time. But we saw the light. Someone maybe showed us what we never knew. We moved out of corporates that we were working in. We started building our own dreams, and it's working. So thank you both for really showing us that there is light at the end of the tunnel. That was amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate it. I see a couple of charts in the box. Someone says, that's Sharon. Sharon says, I have heard different companies that a person can join. What are the benefits of FEG to others? Well, that's a very good question. Now, we don't know much about those other companies yet here, but all we can talk to is what is that FEG? We have those 10 ways that we talked about. We have the freedom that we talked about of being in a business for your own. And quite honestly, if those other companies have the same, so be it and great. We would love to know what they have that we don't have here. But what we know here, we've been actually, most of us have been different in different angles and different, spectrums, because we didn't all start here. This happens to be a meeting point of different agents with different backgrounds. And from the testimonies we've heard and the experiences we're having here, it is great it's serving, it's providing us the dreams. It's helping us to get the dreams that we've always wanted to achieve on. But as for the other companies, I don't know which other companies out there. There are many, many, many companies that may be doing this exact same way. We can only compare apples to apples. But the benefits of FEG is being in a company of like-minded people, serving and getting dreams, realizing your own dreams, striking a life balance, work style. Being your own boss is the language that all they've been talking about there. I don't know. I mean, it comes even down to pay rates and all, the commissions and all those kind of things. But the idea keeps the fact that you are in an entrepreneurship path. You're realizing your dreams. Your values may be different from my values or his values or her values. But if you can land or step onto something that helps you to achieve what you want in life, then you're on the milestone, you're on a gold mine. Colin, what percentage of new agents remain after 1 year? And what is the primary reason for quitting? I wish we could keep these questions to the subject matter, but to pivot a little bit and see the percentage of people that have come here and left, and I don't have those numbers, but I believe it's very, very, very small. And that would depend on the person themselves, because no one that I know that have put in their best and got nothing out. Talking of my own experience, I don't even see or imagine that situation coming along. But we've seen also some situations where people, again, as I mentioned, it's what you put, it like say, sorry to use that slug, but garbage in, garbage out. If you don't put in anything, you're guaranteed to get nothing out. But if you put in your time, if you put in your mind, if you put in your brain to train and reach out, because you literally need 3 skills here. Unless you miss one of those 3 skills. But if you have actually all of these 3 skills, then you're guaranteed 100% to get the best out of this industry. The first one is knowing what you really want. Is being hungry and having a dream of what you want to achieve. Why are you doing this? A big why. The second one is being trainable, because we have a system pre-made, ready to go, hot from the oven, good to set off and take you. If you immerse yourself into the system, learn the system, you get taught. Of course, you have mentors. We are nothing short of a number of great mentors here. So if you're trainable and willing to learn, not holding firm onto what before you got in the industry, then that's a great quality that we want here. Notice this one. Being trainable is very different, from experienced. Because we've seen people who are experienced come here, get nothing out. And we've seen people also that have nothing, no clue of this industry, come in here and excel. We have journalists, TV anchors, who are right now earning millions on a year. But just because they had to embrace those 3 qualities of a dream or big why, teachability, and then honesty or integrity, if I can say. Your ye be yea and nay be nay. Because this is going to be based on trust, on how you're portrayed. Basically, I'm talking about character. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be marketed by your own clients with repeat customers, which we call renewals here. So we can take time to, deep dive this, but those 3 to me and from the experiences of my colleagues have really been great payoffs of being around here. Sorry, we're on top of the hour, but I'll go over a few minutes if you can allow me. I still see a few more questions here. Ingrid asks, can you start with FEG and still remain with a second job or school in my example and balance both until you see the potential of FEG, or would you suggest it's better to put all your time into the insurance company? Now, that's a very good question, because it's strategic. It's anticipating your path forward. My advice, or the rule of thumb here, is actually not necessary to put on all your time in here. As I mentioned myself, and actually pretty much most of the people I know in this Freedom Equity group, or even in the industry, most of them, you'd find 80–90% of the agents that we have in this industry that are, nailing it, they all started part-time or even part of part-time. But the focus or the game-changing piece was the dream they had, the determination to do this thing. They may only do 2–3 hours. And actually, if we go into the 10 ways of getting paid that we talked about there, you would see we have an example of someone who's doing only one family, serving one family a week, and guaranteed to earn somewhere around 4–5,000 every month, one family a week, or one person a week. Let me say that, not necessarily a family, one person, one customer a week, which they can literally do in 1 hour or 30 minutes. And then they still are able to earn a month worth of the traditional employment payout. So yeah, if you're in school, we have students, college students that are, running with this. We have people who are still doing their traditional jobs, running with this, and they're still making it really great until you come to a point where you realize by yourself that this is way better than the traditional line of, normal employment. If you're in school, that's a great, side gig to, not even comparable to the most common side gigs that people mention around here, like Uber and stuff. Because this one, yes, much as it may not be guaranteed as Uber would be, if you make a ride, you're guaranteed to, get some 10, 20, 30 bucks. This one you serve once and then you're guaranteed to get some thousands, which happens to, pay off all the time you've been waiting. Yeah, so to be short on your answer, Ingrid, no, you can start with, less amount of time, but be sure to have clarity. Then you see a result. And mentorship also will help you as well. Colin, what happens if a client cancels their policy? How does that affect my commissions? If I leave the company, do I lose my overrides and renewals? Incredible questions here. These are very, very good. And actually, this happens to be questions that senior and most experienced agents would be concerned about. When I was joining the industry, let alone being concerned about renewals or overrides, I didn't even know what they meant. But I still started anyway. So I appreciate the level of question here. To answer Colin, it's actually a couple of things, a couple of questions in one here. Let me start with the idea of counseling, a client counseling on you. And Dominic and any other senior agents here, feel free to jump in if you want to share your experiences as well. But if a client cancels a policy and you had already been paid actually commissions upfront, the industry presents something called chargebacks. And those are not necessarily bad. They are proportional and prorated to the amount of premiums that haven't been paid at that point when they cancel. So this is going to be a little bit dynamic into figures and numbers, but if someone, this business is based on, getting paid commissions upfront on annualized basis, on the annualized premiums, and you get those premiums ahead, maybe you're on 50% or 40% or 70% on your commission rate. If they cancel at some point, then the system will calculate how much of that. But the idea here, to my experience now that I've been here for quite a while, is to anticipate those things ahead of time and figure out we have ways to avoid those cancellations. And they come a win-win, not just protect yourself alone as an agent, but do actually in what is the best interest of the customer that would have otherwise canceled on you. Things like advising them on the best ways to keep up with their policy. If someone understands really the benefits of having that policy, the essence of having it, they will seldomly cancel. Most people cancel because they lose touch with their agents. If their financial, and the industry provides actually lots of ways to navigate against those kind of cancellations. There are free look times. There are no lapse where you can reduce the premiums. There are wait times where they can hold the payments until they're able to get back on. So if you are effectively engaged with your clients, and which we happen to train you how to go about it, then we can really tell that there's no such a point where you would find yourself into a mess of cancellations where it hurts you. Now, a cancellation may be inevitable when it's actually in the best interest of the customer. And at that point, you have a bounce back where you move on into your next commissions, and then you reduce the chargebacks that would have otherwise been charged on you would be taken out of the other commissions that will come later on. So pretty much I would say almost never, unless you quit the industry, but almost never at a point you have to get money out of your pocket to pay back because someone canceled or something happened. If you're in the industry, then you may have a negative ledger balance. That's the amount on your account in this business, which comes back to positive as you move on. How does that affect my commissions? Yeah, I think that one I talked about it. It may reduce your commissions if someone cancels, but I wouldn't want really an agent, a professional agent, to anticipate a cancellation, but rather anticipate how to avoid those cancellations. And we have many ways to talk about that line of, preventing those cancellations ahead of time. If I leave the company, do I lose my overrides and renewals? That's a very good question again. So we are building a book of business, and with a book of business, it's something that is going to be even more fun as you learn about this. But by the way, I feel like I'm talking much on this. Any other person wants to jump on here? I can keep going and
No, you can keep going. No
Okay,
problem.
good. So as we're bringing people, onboarding people here, we are building a book of business where we have 10, 5, 20, 15 customers that you have already served. And remember, these are in for long term. They are not in here for just 1, 2, 3 months. Insurance products are long-term products. So if you onboard a customer, we have those renewals that are
It's
going
like
to have,
having your children and you leave them along the way.
Exactly. It's like you're going to, turn your back on your own children. But what's come to the worst? You have to leave the industry. What happens is you have the option of negotiating that book of business and making money out of it. And those are things we navigate now on a senior level. Now you're experienced, you've been here for quite some time, you have renewals, you have overrides, you have all those things that you mentioned about. Then we introduce you to another dimension level of dealing with, how to work with your book of business, how to benefit from it, how do you transfer it or sell it or keep it, or how do you benefit from that if you were to leave? But yeah, there's no such a thing as losing, because you buy it, it's your business. It's like you having a company and you want to liquidate it. You may sell it, you may just, sell the furniture and properties in there, the assets. But yeah, FEG does provide lots of ways to handle the book of business as an exit strategy, if I may call it. Woo! Questions keeps coming in here. How do new agents typically get their first clients? Do I get any help with marketing and lead generations from the upline team? Very good questions coming in here. Again, this was actually Colin. Now, with getting new clients for your first time, we have a system. FEG does provide a system that is ready to take you through. And we have a structured ways of working with your upline. So you bring people you're not even, experienced enough to sell. Then your uplines help you close. They help you train. They help you talk to your contacts. So a client, before they become a client, they are prospects. And a prospect, before they become a prospect, they are consumers or ordinary people. So it's kind of a logical sequence steps that we carry you through, and the system here helps you to go through from a mere contact, an initial contact that you have. You funnel them into the system, and the system converts them into, okay, this is a potential client. Now they become a consumer. We get, you have the information, and now you introduce them. If you have any specific interest to talk to them, then you talk to your upline. Your upline goes with you in prospecting, talking to them about the benefits, about, not just all the great stuff or even the dangers. You even talk to them about the dangers of not going on that road, or the challenges of having life insurance, because they're going to talk about, oh, I need a monthly pay. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. But an experienced agent will come up with, look at right now, we are in the tax season. People are getting tax refunds. There are creative ways of using those refunds instead of buying these huge, crazy cars and gadgets and all, and, secondary stuff. But instead, go back to the basics. Protect your life using a refund. And that's going to be money that, creatively, you find yourself on an investment path that gives you guaranteed income for a lifetime using money that never came out of your pocket. So anyway, to sum it up here, they're not going to say, here are the clients, go talk to this person. No. You choose who you want to talk to. And we have systems that you can pursue on your own, CRM, and those can be even pursued outside of FEG. The CRM to give you lead generations. Some of them are free. Some of them are, they have a premium on there, you have to pay for them. Not necessarily out of your pocket as well. If you partner with, a lead generation company in insurance or in mortgages, or there are lots of those businesses that as you scale up your business, but I wouldn't advise to jump on those kind of things until you have a full firm footage in the industry and now know where you're headed. Do I get any? Okay, I think I addressed some of those, pretty much all of the questions that we have in here. I realize we are about an hour over the time that we had allotted for this. Can I have any pressing comment or question that we shouldn't leave behind before we wrap it up? And I appreciate your patience as we've gone too long here. Or any other person that wants to jump on what I've already addressed, please go ahead. Yes, Ima, go ahead, please.
Oh, thank you so much once again. This is actually amazing. Sometimes we go even past 30 minutes past the hour and we didn't even recognize that. So just to tell everybody who was asking, that shows the discussion was actually very much needed. So the only thing I can tell, maybe Corinne, who was asking for the new person, do I get the help from my uplines? Yes. So in this business or in this company, we were talking about Freedom Equity Group because that is the company we work with. We don't know how other companies work. So we tell you, you're in a business for yourself, like Herbert was saying earlier, but not by yourself. So yes, we do work as a team. We hold your hand. That is what they call a field training. We train you until you feel like, yes, I'm comfortable and ready to learn alone. So you'll never be left alone. Everybody who works with us or works with the FEG, they know nobody works alone. And something else. So FEG does have a very good back office. The training materials we do have, unless really you don't want to learn, you can learn anything, even by yourself. But we don't let you actually do it by yourself because we know you need someone to hold you until actually to see even what is in the back office. And by the way, we don't even have a platform fee with the FEG. So you pay only once when you're joining the company. You don't have to pay anything else to access all the training materials FEG has to offer. So FEG does understand, like Ingrid was asking earlier, they understand when you join the business, you don't have to come in 100%. So they know you have to put food on your table. That is why they know we always have trainings Monday to Friday, morning to evening. But they know if you have school, if you have work, you still have to take care of your family. You have to take care of yourself. So that is why all the trainings or the webinars are recorded for you to actually access at your own time at no additional cost. So everything's free for all agents. You can be working in the morning, going to school in the morning, you come back in the night, you can follow with all the trainings that happened in the morning when you're in school or at work, or webinars are there. So it's just a matter of you wanting, like Herbert was saying, do you actually know why you joined the business? If you know your why, you know what you're going to do is going to come. So know your why first and know how to follow your dream. Actually, the dream is here with FEG. Thank you both for a great presentation again.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Immaculate, for that great addition on there. If no other question, or I don't see any other hand or comment in the chat, I want to thank you. Now, I don't know if it was Ingrid or someone that already asked here, but that kind of inspired me to share you my favorite quotation from Aristotle, and I just shared that in the chat box. I'll read it for you if you can't read in the chat, but if you look in your chat, I just shared you my favorite quote there. So, with this kind of path that we're talking about, having a business on your own, being a boss of your own, pursuing your dreams, it comes with excellence. The excellence that you get out of this is achieved through a repeated effort. And that effort must be guided by reason, which is your big why, and the wisdom, which is the training that we have here, the system that is already built. So FEG provides the wisdom, the know-how. You bring the reason as to why you want to do this. And those two convert into an effort that is determined to excel. My friends, it is a pleasure again to talk to you again tonight. We are here as a team, not just for this session. We have a bigger chat platform of WhatsApp. I think it's FEG Dream, right, Ima? Should be FEG Dream. If at any point you happen to be at your other work, or you're flying or driving on a highway, and by safety reasons you're not driving, let me say you're into something else, and a piece of mind runs into your industry here, something related to this industry, you think of a question, you don't have to wait for this session of the evening session, time of the evening session where you have to go through all these things. You can always throw those charts, questions there in daytime, night. We have people that keeps answering those ones, pretty much 24/7, you'd find someone ready to answer or address your question. It may go maybe for a couple of minutes or hours without being answered if someone misses it out. But yeah, we can always take these questions on and on the platform. With that said, let me go ahead and call on my brother Dominic that we run the session tonight, and Ima actually just wrapped it up. Yes, Dominic, if you want to say something for closing, then I go ahead and cut it off.
I would just encourage people to come in to be part of FEG because we do have a good team. Emma is always there to help, and you as well. So they shouldn't fear to come in and be part of our team.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, can't be said any better. Yeah, thank you guys again. We appreciate your time here and attention. Until next time.